Hello, everybody. Welcome to this week's episode of the Street Smart Millionaire. Today, we have a local client of mine and a local friend, Damian Paroli. Damian owns a company called Charlotte Plumbing. How long have you been a plumber?
28 years.
And you followed in your dad's footsteps. He was a plumber?
Yeah, I'm third generation.
And you third generation plumber. You started in New Jersey.
New Jersey.
What brought you to North Carolina?
Change of life. We ran a business there in New Jersey for several years and just wanted to end that, start over, pick North Carolina.
And what made you pick North Carolina?
U.S. News and World Report.
Really? For me, it was the best places to live, good economy, good weather. So you've been here how long?
22 years.
So you've been here 22 years and you've been a plumber for a long time. Yeah. And you've been my student for how long?
Seems like forever.
6 years then.
6 years.
So for 6 years, you've been my plumber. And when we started, you were doing really well, making good money, and we've blown up. Last year, you made about $2 million, and this year, you're up or down for the year?
Oh, we're down a little this year.
Is that top line or bottom line $2 million? Bottom line $2 million.
Bottom line.
So net profit $2 million. So you're starting to be wealthy. What's changed as your finances have changed?
What's changed? My finance changed.
Well, first of all, you pulled up in a G-Wagon, I noticed, not a plumber's truck.
Yeah, not a plumber's.
So you got some better vehicles. What kind of house are you living in these days?
We've got a farm. We've got 30 acres. We've got, barn, multiple buildings. Nice.
Super upscale farm, not a little casual farm like I have.
It's a nice farm.
Super upscale farm.
Yeah.
Kids go where to college?
My son and daughter, my oldest or two are at Liberty College.
So they go to Liberty, a great Christian's college, which reflects your values in life, correct?
Absolutely.
And so you're getting wealthy and you're getting balanced. And I think there's 3 secrets. I think you have to be closest to the money. I think you have to know your perfect client, get more of them. And I think you have to do the basics. So how much time do we spend together?
Cool. A lot. Average week, we could spend 3 or 4 times together.
3 or 4 times a week. So you excite me, I excite you. You agree you got to be closest to the people that have what you want.
Oh, yeah.
Like when it comes to marriage, I hang out with a guy that's been married 47 years. Who do you like? I find you and Rebecca a great couple. Who have you learned marriage from?
Probably different.
Your dad, of course. No, your dad. So have you copied some people that were really good marriages, or just based on what he didn't do well there?
I'd probably learn more from, not doing certain things that I've seen in other relationships and said, hey, we're not going to do that in our relationship, and just tweak from there.
And you got 4 really cool children. You got 2 older kids and 2 younger kids.
Yep.
And the older kid's playing college football. The older daughter's doing really well, good student, works a lot. And the 2 younger girls are horseback riders, right?
Yeah, they do show jumping. Not show jumping. It's hunter jumpers, so they do jumping and stuff like that.
And that's a poor kid's hobby or a rich kid's hobby?
Do not start that. Yeah, stay away from that.
What kind of money does that cost you? What are the horses cost?
How, like the horses themselves?
Yes.
Over 100,000.
Over 100,000 for horses. And then you have trainers, and then you travel. Where do you travel for this?
Here local, we do a lot in Tryon, North Carolina, and we go down to Florida to multiple locations down there. We're at Southern Pines this weekend.
So because you have a lot of money, you've been able to buy a house in Tampa and a house in the mountains to support the kids in the horses, right?
Yeah.
So between the business, the farm, and the kids horseback riding, you are what I would consider extremely busy.
We're very busy.
So tell them what a normal work day looks like for you.
Normal work day. All right. Get up in the morning. I work out every morning. So I might get up at 6:30 to 7. I work out for about an hour. Usually do cardio in the morning. So I'm doing that. And then I might make a few phone calls, and then I'm usually off to the office if I'm in 10.
And you work from what time to what time?
So if I roll into the office at 9, sometimes I'll get out of there at 6, something like that.
And then at night, what do you work?
Then usually when I get home, if I get home at like 6, I'm not doing anything else. Like we spend different nights together doing different things. I'll spend a couple hours maybe doing some loose ends around the house, helping the wife with something, make dinner. And then usually I'm back working out again around 8:30, 9 o'clock for another hour. And then I'll usually do paperwork from 10 to...
So you work out 2 hours a day. How many days a week?
6 days a week.
So 6 days a week, you work out 2 hours a day. What does that have to do with your wealth and your balance?
I think it's a discipline. It's just more for me. It's like, it's a mental thing. Like, I mean, at different points in my life, it wasn't a focus for me. But if I just...
Like when we met, it wasn't a big...
No.
You've come down about 40 pounds since we've been...
More than that. You're the best. You should start like a diet plan or something. I mean...
I'm the best at hammering people that want to be hammered. Do you agree with that?
That's absolutely. And I mean, when we met, it wasn't a priority. Like, my wife wasn't nagging me about it. I wasn't like upset about it. But yeah, I was topping out at like 245 and I'm at like 185 right now.
So you've gotten yourself in great physical shape. Your business is cranking. So we spend a lot of time with closest to the money. Let's talk about identifying the perfect client. I remember we had a talk about builder business, residential business, commercial business, and property management business. We analyzed, what did we decide was your perfect client?
We do well with property managers.
So property managers, we decided was your perfect client. We made a list of the top 30 in North Carolina. We started attacking them and whining and dining them. How did you land all these property managers?
Relationships. I mean, we built relationships. We come in, we say what we're going to do. We don't, we'll do whatever people ask of us. We bend over backwards for them. So we understand that it's in quantity, these jobs that we're doing. So we're not trying to make a killing on every job. We're looking for quantity. You make good money on some, you don't on some others. But for us, it's the relationship. They give us the majority of their work, and we're able to, repeat that day in and day out.
How many property managers do you take care of?
Over 25.
And you have how many properties in North Carolina?
Under management by those 25, probably over 60,000.
So you have 60,000 properties. So instead of one toilet, one bill, you might have 100 toilets in one bill, which makes the collections easier and easier to do.
Right, there's a separate bill for everyone, but it's the same people. They know the program. We know their program. It just is easy. There's no selling. There's no friction. It's an emotionless thing for them. They want the work done. You got a pre-agreed price, get the work done.
And I noticed plumbers, as I've investigated your business to be able to coach you, plumbers either do a commission-based program or they're upselling all the time, right? Or they're hourly or they're flat or something. Yeah. So how do you pay your plumber?
All of our plumbers are paid hourly. If we're pricing a job out for like a regular customer, or even our property managers, those are all flat rated. So basically each task has a certain price assigned to it. There's no upselling or anything like that.
So we started off with about 6 plumbers, and you have how many now?
25.
So you had 25 plumbers. How many plumber assistants?
Of that, there's only like 2 of those are assistants.
So only 2 plumber assistants right now. So we're light on the apprentice program. We got to add that.
We do, yeah.
The key to growth is have masters with people under the masters learning how to be the masters.
Right.
It's like when you watch the show Suits, which I like a lot, you're the Harvey, you're the main guy with a bunch of associates under you. Right. Makes sense?
Try to find a good mic.
Yeah. So now the property management, you're now expanding to Tampa and Orlando. How come that happened?
Well, we like this model. It works well for us. And like we said, we don't spend money on advertising. We're saving money on all of that. There's a lot of back end stuff doing work with the regular customer, right? The sales, the emotion of it, everything. So we have a lot less friction there. So we'll have less office staff. So we manage everything that we're doing in Tampa, Orlando, Raleigh.
Now, those are not new property managers. Those are existing property managers that have properties there. Right. It's not like you went and got new clients. You went where your clients had business.
Right. So we leveraged them and we said, hey, on the East Coast here, what's a great market that we could be involved in? And they said, hey, these markets could use some help. And we said, all right, leave us an opportunity there. Let us get our feet wet in there and see what we can do.
So now you're expanding to Raleigh, which is about 3 hours away. You're expanding to Tampa and Orlando.
Yeah.
How many plumbers have you added between Raleigh and
Raleigh? We just have 3 right now. And in Tampa, there's 2. And Orlando, there's 2.
So you have 7 new plumbers that you're expanding in, which how many?
I had more than 25.
How many properties in those 3 areas?
In Tampa and Orlando, there's another probably, just with this, we're only doing work for a couple property managers right now. So there may be about 30,000 homes.
So 30,000 properties down there. You can
take Raleigh's maybe like 8,000.
Plus your 60,000 here for your local business.
Yeah.
How many staff do you need to run your business?
We have 3 girls in our office, and they handle all of like the incoming calls. They handle scheduling everything, dispatching, all the billing, all that kind of stuff.
That's been a struggle for you in our journey. Why?
Yes. I'm a micromanager, so I like to kind of be involved in everything, know what's going on. So we've had some difficult times just trying to get the right people and me taking things off of my plate, putting on other people.
Now we're working on having a Michael in Suits or a Scottie Pippen for the Bulls. What does that mean when I talk about that?
Second command, someone that I can just, that I trust with everything, that I can just throw everything at. The bigger things. Right now, all the little things are definitely covered. The bigger things, they'll probably fall back up.
And your son's got a year left in college. We're going to work him into the business. So hopefully 5 years from now, he could be your number 2.
Right.
So really, I want you to bring in a guy now that supports you with billing, that supports you with jobs. Now, dude, you look at every job, right?
I do, and almost every job. I mean, there was a time I looked at every job, and right now it's probably 75%. So, I mean, looking at it might be, 5 seconds, 10 seconds. Some of the bigger jobs, yes, I'm spending, 10 minutes on.
So what does micromanaging do well?
The details. I think we do good with details.
Well, how are your ratings with your property managers?
Excellent.
So you have excellent ratings because you're a micromanager?
I feel like it.
Yes.
Yeah.
I think it's a good quality. I think that you have to be a micromanager or you have to have unbelievable manager.
Right.
Like for me, I'm not a micromanager. I'm a big picture leader.
Right.
So I have to have a higher level dollar staff than you do.
Right.
So I have to have some main people that do the micromanaging. So I have Lisa, I have Randall, I have Britt, and they're all like you are extreme micromanagers.
Right.
It's rarity for a micromanager to get really big. Why?
Yeah, they get stuck in the details. I mean, it's easy for me to do that. I was stuck in there for years. I mean, until I met you and we started, expanding on that.
Being more of a salesperson.
Right.
Where do you feel you are now? Business owner, salesperson, leader, micromanager? How would you rate those?
Probably more sales lately, especially if we're focusing on expansion.
Yeah, so doing more time with the sales, working on your leadership. Now, you become an excellent student on a P&L. When I talk about the P&L, what are some things you've learned with your P&L?
Learned a lot. I remember the first time I met you, this all started with our church and saying, hey, join this men's Bible study. It's obviously focused on business. And spoke to your assistant. She's like, I'll come in and meet Rick. And she's like, bring a P&L with you. I'm like, wait, this is a Bible study. What am I bringing a P&L for? But that was our first meeting, and I was like, all right, well, let me dust off the P&L. I mean, we obviously, have our books pretty clean and stuff, but I wasn't drilling down and focusing on anything other than like my receivables, the gross, the higher end numbers. You've got me drilling down into every
little detail.
Yeah.
And I will tell you, you've embraced the P&L as good. Like a lot of students struggle with the P&L. They just say the outsell to make more profits.
Right.
Where it's really about creating that gap between your revenue and your overhead. We're netting right now about 23% of your top line, correct?
Right. Yeah.
And most plumbers net
less than 10.
Less than 10. And just so you know, most business owners net 5 to 10%.
Right.
So that you net 22% and I net 48% is very rare in a service business.
Right.
That you net so high. But you really embrace the P&L. It's like he's over here the first of the month with his group and he's the first one got his P&L and you got all that you've analyzed. Like today I graded a bunch of P&Ls. So I took all 35 of my coaches and I graded all their P&Ls. I marked them all up just like I did yours with a pen, what I like, what I don't like, then you go look at it. So you become quite like you got a good salesman and a good CFO mindset. I think you really embrace the P&L.
Yeah, had to. I mean, you just realize, all right, I'm losing money here. I'm not making money here. Cut this, cut that. I mean, if you're not looking at
more of this.
Right, we just weren't looking at it long enough. I mean, so being accountable to you to have to show you that P&L once a month, sometimes we look at it even twice a month. I mean, it puts me in a position where before I come to that meeting, I've got to go through it. I've got to look at it and see
where you going to get your butt chewed.
Right. Yeah, that. And then also, it's helped me make a lot of changes. Otherwise, you just get busy and you're making money, so you ignore it. So, it's just now it's a discipline just like working out is.
I feel you're down 5% year to date. Why do I feel you're down?
You feel I'm down because I've been gone a lot.
You've been distracted, setting up Orlando, setting up Tampa. Is there some truth in that?
Yeah, I mean, if I was here constant, nonstop, I mean, sure, my foot's on the gas in the office every day, right on top of everybody, every single minute. It's gonna go better for sure.
Now, when I look at wealth, where do we have a major frustration from me to you?
Savings,
investing. You save, but you don't want to
invest.
Why do you struggle with the stock market so much?
It's just never been something. I mean, obviously I didn't grow up with that. It wasn't something that I was raised with. It wasn't something that, anybody in my family or extended family ever made a point of or anything. So, and I've always been so focused on taking all my capital and continually growing the business. So we've obviously done a good job on that. I've also spent more money on real estate,
You like a lot of real estate.
I do.
You have how many pieces right now?
Well, just 3, but, my house, we have... we've kind of flipped up and up and up. So, we're in a high net value house and we have a lot of equity in that.
And you got a high mountain house and you got a Florida house. So you have probably $6 million in real estate.
Probably more than that. Yeah. My current house. Yeah. Is up there.
So you have a lot of equity in real estate. Exactly. Made some good real estate moves and you're more comfortable in real estate than the stock market. Why?
I am. I like it. It's tangible. It's there. I mean, I have money in the market because, you were about to kill me if I did it. But you know,
Every month I ask you, you're right. Every month I've asked you, have you invested your 20%? And what's the answer every month?
most months it's no, not yet. But some months,
Not yet. It's a struggle to get you to go with the stock market. Are you afraid of the losses? What is it for you? Because I'm sure many thousands of people have your concern. They weren't taught about the stock market. And I'm such a hammer about this.
You are. I mean, if I had known you 20 years ago, my life would look different in a lot of ways. I mean, it's already different because I've known you 6 years. But I mean,
Want to know the truth?
Yeah.
It wouldn't look any different.
You know,
when the student is ready, the teacher will what?
the future will appear. You're right.
I appeared when you were ready for financial lessons and you would hit how old are you?
I'm 48.
So you hit 48. You're looking at your wealth. You're thinking, I got to do a better job accumulating my wealth for retirement. Now, you like a lot of stuff, like a lot of my clients like a lot of stuff. What does that mean to you when I say you like a lot of stuff?
You feel like I buy a lot of fun things.
Cars, equipment, trucks, toys, tools. Listen, I think you need a lot of equipment for your infrastructure of your plumbing business. Like we have a lot of trucks. How many trucks do you have?
I mean, there's a truck for every guy, and we got some extras, and there's trucks that have specific purposes. I mean, we probably own, over 30-some vehicles.
So you're 30-some plumbers now with the outside ribs. So you're 30 plumbers, 3 internal staff. I probably want 2 more internal staff. I probably want a number 2. I probably want your son to develop into a number 3 over the next 5 years. Otherwise, what's going to happen if we don't have a plan for the future?
Yeah, I mean, if you don't plan, we're not going to grow. We're not going to be structured for it. We're not going to be able to handle whatever growth comes at us.
So you have the discipline around your business. You have the discipline around your family, which I find a stunning example. I think you're a great husband, great dad. I think you do a lot of things well. You focus on serving Christ at a high level and having a really good foundation in faith. You just don't have discipline around investing. Why is it? Why is that such a last thing that I'm trying to get out of you? Are you trying to make me feel valued? Like if they do everything I say, you all need me?
Yeah, I need something for you to harass me about. No, I mean, I've gotten better at it. I mean, last year we put away a good bit, and we'll put away a good bit this year. But,
it's not on a monthly, it's 100% invested, consistent.
I just think it hasn't still burned into my mind in that same sense. I don't look at it like, I look at tasks and things I have to complete on a monthly basis, and you're right, it hasn't been prioritized. So I need to fix that.
I've been saving for 37 years, 20% of my paycheck. And there's a lot of smarter people than me. There's a lot of better business people than me.
Right.
But not many have a bigger bank balance than me. Each day, I made $1 million, and today it's about 3:00 and I'm already over $1.4 million. So when the times are rolling and the stock market's rolling, I make big bank. I would like to see long-term have a pile of wealth and a pile of real estate, that the real estate's going up, which we have that already.
Yeah.
But a pile of wealth that continues to grow up. That's the one main thing that we argue about. I fuss at you about. How often?
Oh, constantly.
Daily, did you invest? Did you invest? Did you invest? Now, I believe that good coaching is focusing on the basics really well. So you're exercising twice a day. What's your diet look like?
In the morning, I eat a protein bar. That's it. I eat lunch a little bit later, usually at 2. I eat Chipotle. If I'm in the office every day or I got access to Chipotle through
the same things.
Same thing. I eat a chicken and cheese quesadilla and some brown rice. And then at night, I eat filet. I mean, I usually, if I'm cooking at home, I eat a filet. If I got to buy something out, I'm getting some type of steak or something.
So you're a red meat. You're a red meat and a vegetable guy.
I don't eat it.
And you eat late, which aggravates me.
I do. I've upped it. I always eat at 10. You got me up to maybe 8:30, something like that. But it just works with my schedule.
I think it's just harder on the body to process that red meat late at night. I agree. I don't think it's the best thing for you. So, how do you work on your faith?
How do I work on my faith?
What's your discipline around your faith?
Try to attend church as much as possible.
Like twice a month, 3 times a month?
It's hard. We're show twice, at least twice a month. So we're showing on Sundays.
Do you read on a regular basis?
I do. I'll read some scripture. I have certain blogs that I follow or things like that. And then I got certain podcasts or things like that I'll listen to. So yeah, I mean, I have the Halo app, things like that we talk about. So, I mean, something like that I've got in my life that I'm doing on a regular basis, but I've definitely had more intense times in my life on my faith. It's definitely been a little bit less, maybe the last year.
It's very hard to get it all in. You agree? It's a lot every day. I try to squeeze every minute of the 24-hour. Do you hear that? I am busy. I'm going from meeting to meeting to thing to thing. I love being busy. You love being busy?
I mean, yeah, I love being busy. I love feeling like we're using everything. I think the last 3 or 4 years, I'm getting over 45, I've just maybe have this thing in my head where it's like, I'm running out of time. You see the kids getting older, especially, you're just like, I want to squeeze everything in. So I'm doing a lot with the business that I want to be there for me over the next 20 years. But then I also feel like, all right, I only got this much time with the kids. I want to squeeze this in and do that. So, we use every weekend. We're either doing something, like I said, horse show wise or vacationing wise or something every weekend practically.
Now, just so you know, the best earning years are 30 to 60. So you got 12 years at peak earning years. The wealth years go from 50 to 70. I don't like to tell you that. Why?
Because you're worried that I'll wait till I'm 50.
Exactly. So I want the same discipline around your work and your P&L and your business and your body and your family and your God. The one area you lack great discipline is your consistent investing. So I want 20% every month invested in a combination of the S&P and a couple good stocks.
Right.
Why is that not ingrained into you yet? I'm going to play this video to you every night about this.
I know. You've only said it to me maybe about 1,000 times. Maybe by the 1,200th or so time, it'll sink into me. It will. I'm working on it. But just like everything, maybe I'm a little bit of I don't know if I'm a slow learner. I may be a slow adopter. So, I've definitely been slow to adopt certain things. And I definitely have had, it's just, and same thing, you're 100% right. Sometimes you can use other things as a distraction, right? So, you were worried about me expanding into Florida and stuff like that. Yes, there's a lot of arguments to say, hey, that's a distraction. We're a couple months into it and we're already seeing the growth out of it and things like that. So it's going to pan out and be good, but you're right. There's an investment there, right? New trucks, new equipment, new guys. And so, you're a little worried about pushing more money into the market than at that time, right? How much do I need on the back burner for something like this or that?
I want to run my company lean. I really want to be invested heavy.
Yeah.
Now, a lot of business people have a concept of keeping all the money in their company for a rainy day.
I used to do that before I met you. 9 years. Yeah.
I believe draw it out, pay taxes, buy fun stuff, and invest it into the future.
Right.
We've got the fun stuff down to an expertise.
Good on the fun.
Good on the fun stuff. We got to work on building the long-term portfolio. I will tell you, for me and you and all my clients, 10 and 10 is always the vision. 10 million in equity, 10 million in the stock market. Is that your vision?
Yeah, that's a great vision.
Cool. And you're behind where?
I'm behind on the stock market.
Cool. But you agree 10 and 10 by the time you're 60 makes you get to what? Have what?
Wealth.
Options. Where you can do whatever you want.
Right.
Work because you love it. You love your job?
Oh, yeah.
What are your favorite parts? 3 favorite things about your job?
Ooh, 3 favorite things. It's just a challenge every day. There's something that's going to go wrong every day. There's something
you like that. Yeah, some people get overwhelmed by the problem.
No.
I embrace them and you embrace them.
Yeah, I wake up every day knowing something's going to go wrong today. Like if you don't program yourself for that, then you're going to get upset every day. So like yesterday, one of my guys rear-ended somebody. Okay, there you go. Like, oh man, he's going to be pissed. Like, well, I'm pissed because you shouldn't have rear-ended somebody, but on the same hand, like it's just the thing that was going to happen today. Something's going to happen every day. You got that many employees. I'm in a blue collar world. It's guys are going to do something stupid every day. Someone's going to make a mistake. So I just embrace it. And I look at it as like a challenge. How am I going to solve this problem? What are we going to work around? What are we fixing today?
We started this group. Our pastor asked, we were both at the same church, and our pastor asked me to coach 10 businessmen so they could make more money and give more money to the church. We started at 10. We're down to 4. Why?
I think that a lot of guys just can't handle it. They're not open to the criticism, not open to it. I
find it correction, not criticism.
All right.
I find it cool.
Yeah. I need that from you. I never had anybody in my life to do that before. And so I needed that. And it was just a matter of opening up to it. I remember in the early days, I was like, why am I letting him yell at me about this? You know what I mean? Like, I'm 40 something years old. I don't need, and no, I need this, and
I think all people need accountable. I look at my 9 mentors I've had, my current mentor. If he's not calling me out on Tuesday afternoons, I'm frustrated.
Right.
Like, I'm not looking for praise. And I love the fact that you're not looking for praise. You're looking for, where can I get better? Where do I need to be sharpened? How do I need to change?
Right.
And I will tell you this, when I look at your faith, your physical fitness, your marriage, your kids, your business, your investing, the only weaknesses I see is your monthly consistently on your 20%.
Right.
It's the last hurdle. And then that's the last climbing of the mountain. Then it's staying on top of the mountain. What do I want to do?
Stay on top.
I don't want to fall.
No.
I don't want to go backwards. I want to keep winning.
Yep.
Like, I just added 70 new clients that are going to pay me $40,000 a year. I lost 45. Which matters more, the losses of 45 or the gaining of the 70?
You say the loss of
The losses freak me out. I'm mad as mad can be. I can't wait till July start first when I start a new semester, and I'm up, but I won't be happy until July. Right now, I'm just going through every client. What could I have done better to keep the client? How could I have fixed it? Those are the things that me and you embrace the problems. We don't embrace the victory.
No. I want a problem every day. I want something I can fix. I'm working on, like you said, myself, this, everything. And so it's just embracing that, and I think a lot of people don't embrace the pain, don't embrace the struggle, don't embrace that type of thing. Like, so why we lose so many people in our groove? I think guys just don't feel like, oh, I want to come here and get beat up for an hour. Well, you either look at it as getting beat up or you look at it as someone that knows more than you that's pointing out the things that you need to improve on. I mean, it's that simple.
Well, it's the secret of beating you up, not beating you down. Right. Taking is what?
Beating down.
Beating down.
Yeah.
Now we got a guy in our group. Our smallest guy in our group makes about 500. And when he has problems in his business, it seems to devastate him. Do you notice that about Troy?
Yeah.
That's why he makes 500, not 2 million. You understand? Every problem is big. And oh my God, this is a major problem.
Fix it, move on.
And we got one guy that just sold his business for $2.5 million. Yeah, that was pretty cool. You agree?
Yeah.
So now he's working for the new company. He has 30% piece, sold it for $2.5 million. Yeah. One guy is, Warren, who's partners with Joey Logano, the race car driver, and they're building a production company. And how fast is that blowing up?
Oh, yeah, it's going great. I mean,
3 years, it's gone from zero to about 800 grand.
Yeah, they brought a great strategic partnership with somebody, and they got the right people in the seats, and it's going really well.
And Joey's name drives a lot of business, and then Warren reels it all in.
Right.
So that's a good dynamic. It's kind of fun to see all the different businesses.
It's four completely different people, four completely different,
It's always sales, team, and money. It never varies.
Right.
So the basics are the key. What are some basics you need to improve on besides the monthly savings? What else are some things you could tighten up?
My probably leadership in, on the administrative side, like you said, we're weak on administrative staff. I'm really good because I come from the background of being a plumber, of being in the field. I'm really good at leading the technicians, at leading that skill set. I'm not as good at leading the administrative stuff because I don't get excited by that. Like, I'm not happy to sit down and do paperwork. So to lead that and to get the right people in that position is difficult.
That's one of the weaknesses.
Yes.
I just don't feel like when I look at the leadership triangle and I look at you're on top as the owner, then you're on top as the director of sales. I don't see this director of ops as training and teaching and growing.
Right.
So I know you have a really good really good person who's been with you a long time.
Yeah.
But she's really the bad type of operational leader because she doesn't want to share and teach.
Right. She's gotten a lot better at that, but on the same hand, she's just so much of a doer that would rather just crank. And you're right. I don't have the patience either. I'm more sales. I'd rather be talking with somebody, selling, or I'd rather be teaching a technical thing versus, let me show you how to follow this structure and administratively get this paperwork done today. I'm more just like, figure this out and get this done. This is where it needs to be. So I'm very direct, but sometimes that's not good either. So,
I don't find that you lose many people. I think you're very clear. I think you're very direct and you're very firm. I'd like to have you have a little more fun with the plumbers. What have we done to make the plumber life a little more fun? What are some of the things we worked on and done?
Well, I mean, I think we care about our guys in the sense where we're pretty easy. We're a little more easygoing with them. Hey, I need it off on Friday by such and such, or I got this came up. So we're not as structured with them as far as maybe some of the bigger, not bigger, but more corporate style companies would be. They're a little more strict around the edges with things. So we let the guys have a little more of a loose day, a loose lifestyle.
And we've added some parties. We add
some fun things, use some competitions throughout.
I like a lot of tools as prizes. We give a lot of power tools away.
We try. We take care of them. Hey, you need something. We try to back it up, so we do a good job with that. We have a good environment. I mean, I think that our environment can be is low stress, and a very non-corporate feel. So, a little different than a lot of, white collar structured jobs would be. And we try to just embrace that with our guys. We're a little too loose with them sometimes.
How efficient do you feel you are on a 1 to 10?
Efficiency as far as plumbing work getting done and stuff getting done. Oh, we're high. We're 8, 9 for sure.
So you're an 8, 9 in sales, 8, 9 in efficiency, probably a 7 or 8 in P&L, probably a 2 in investing. I'll just throw that in one more time for the 20th.
In case you didn't get that across yet.
So how come we can't embrace the investing?
I thought this was already asked and answered.
No, it is asked. Listen, Many people out there do great in sales, great operationally, and great with real estate. I have so many clients across the country that don't like the stock market. Is it a volatility thing? What is it?
I think it's a combination of volatility. And then, like I said, from my background of not just being involved in real estate, but construction and things like that, I've made a lot of money flipping properties and that over the years. So having that cash available and seeing the short-term gain on that, right? And that's probably skewed my brain, right? Like, hey, I could go ahead and put 300,000, buy this property for 300, put 100 into it, and then make a quick 200 off of it. I have a hard time looking at the 20, 30-year payoff of it. And that's
just
fun.
That you get a line of credit or 50% of whatever your balance is for under market rates. So I have a giant multi-million-dollar line of credit.
It's true.
So if I wanted to flip properties, what could I do?
You just pull out of that. You don't need that cash for that.
So you don't need cash. You need the cash invested. Then you get a line of credit against the cash. You understand that?
I know.
So as we get $5 million at the bank, you'll have $2.5 million in a line of credit. What could you flip?
A lot.
This thing, how many houses and G-Wagons, the new fun junk you could buy that I would yell at you about for buying so much fun stuff. Now, you have a lot of animals. How many animals do you have?
Oh, we just got rid of our cows. But we've got, 40 chickens. We've got some goats. We've got donkeys. We got horses.
Mini horses.
We got mini horses.
Kids love the owls.
Oh, the girls are outside with horses, all day long.
Has it been great living on the farm with the kids? What are some of the values of living on a farm? Oh, I love it as well.
Yeah. I mean, those girls have the life. I mean, they're just hop on a little mini horse and poke around the property and do whatever. But no, they have to feed. They have to clean stalls. They've got certain responsibilities that they got to do every day. So, I mean, physically, actively working with the animals, probably at least an hour every day. And then they also have to ride, these horses are in a training program. So they have to ride them, not every day, but 5 days a week.
And the older two kids didn't really get the farm.
They did. No, they didn't.
I think it's better for the younger kids. I think they learn more responsibility. Taking care of animals is a big responsibility. I think it's just like my wife's gone to a tennis tournament this weekend, and I have to take care of all the animals, and I have to take Friday off because my farmer's on vacation, so I got to farm all weekend. But I will tell you, I love it. I love cutting the grass. I love getting out there and cutting the fence, fixing the fences and cutting the trees. It's a lot of fun having that side thing, isn't it?
It is.
Now, you don't have much help at the farm, do you?
No, we don't. My wife takes care of a lot. We have someone that does a lot of the mowing and general cleanup and stuff like that. But yeah, other than that, my wife takes care of almost everything at the farm. The kids, her and the kids, they do all that. So
the vision is 10 and 10.
Yes.
We're doing really good on the first part of the real estate, not so good on the second part of the investment.
I got time.
Have we made money since I've made you invest?
Yes.
Yes, we've made money, so I guess it worked out, right?
It worked out.
Yeah. Turn this off. I didn't turn it off further. But I think that is just watching you grow your business gives me a great joy. Watching you be a good man with all this money gives me a bigger joy. And I think you're doing unbelievable. I think that don't stop doing the basics. Do you agree that's the key?
I mean, the basics are everything. And that's what I love about, you're not a, not that you aren't.
I'm not a new and shiny guy.
No, not just that. You're not like a Tony Robbins, Ed Mylett, where it's all just this gushy feelings or this motivational speech. It's, look, if you follow the basics, all of those things are going to fall into line for you. So you don't need a motivational speech. You need to get back and do the basic things. If you follow those things, you'll have a disciplined life. You'll have a balanced life. And then you'll be able to, reap all of these things that you're building into. Instead of just getting caught up on this hoorah of everything, right? Like, oh, let's go get more sale. Let's go more this. Yes, but there's a structure behind doing that. And I think that's what you have pounded into me, right? So
it's the discipline and the process and the system and the structure.
And make these decisions off the P&L. Make a decision reacting off of that. The numbers are going to show you where you need to go and what you should be doing. And you've taught that, not just a feeling or an emotion. And that's what you're worried about. Like, same thing, back to the whole doing something with Florida. Is this just some emotional thing you want to do? Is this just something where you want to expand? And it's like, yeah, it's on one hand, but on the other hand, the numbers show that this can work. If they don't, like you said too, hey, if the numbers look bad after a year, you cut it.
Well, I love coaching you. I love having my life. We've developed into one of my better friends. We spend at least 3 days a week together. We double date, we hang out, we're involved in everything. I think you're doing great, and I'm super proud of you. Everybody, I got to go. Street Smart Millionaire. See you next week. Have a great one.
Thank you.
Bye.